When we think of biology, the study of life, the first few things that come to mind are animals, humans, and even cells. But we don't tend to focus as much on the sessile organisms that surround us daily, plants. Plants are far more complex, diverse, and interesting than we tend to give them credit for. Their methods of reproduction and obtaining resources are phenomenal for organisms that can't move, and they can compete with all forms of life, including other plants around them. Over millions of years, plants have evolved to survive in various habitats, from photosynthetic pathways to the development of the root and shoot system, and even the ability to get their nutrients from additional sources. It's very common to think of animals and insects eating plants, but in some cases the opposite can occur. Though plants are very abundant and appealing, there exists a lot of competition between them, and some environmental pressures can lead to very unique adaptations and structures. Carnivorous plants such as the Venus flytrap attain their resources from consuming insects, and in some cases even vertebrates. Everyone's heard of the Venus flytrap, with its jaw-like leaves that are able to capture anything small enough that dares to venture in. To attract its prey, the Venus flytrap secretes a sweet nectar on the edge of each leaf. Both sides of the trap have small hairs that are triggering sensors. If any of the hairs are touched more than once within a 20-second interval, the trap activates and the plant seals itself tight, releasing digestive enzymes to kill and dissolve the prey. But there are also other plants with less complex mechanisms, such as the sundew or the sputterwort, which involve trapping with sticky sap. The most remarkable and one of the most widespread of these simpler trap plants, however, is the pitcher plant. Shape and placing of the pitchers varies between species, but they all have the same basic components, with the most essential structure being, of course, the pitcher-shaped leaf. These species live in habitats with soils lacking nutrients, which is why they've evolved to feed on insects or animals. In fact, we even have this pitcher plant in our own province called Sarracenia purpurea. However, it is much smaller than most tropical species. In a typical pitcher plant, it would have a cupped leaf as the entrance to its pitfall trap. The slippery sides of the pitcher plant ensure that escape is futile for its prey. The chemical soup used in digesting their prey involve amino acids, phosphates, urea, and ammonium. The trap isn't as simple as it seems. When insects climb onto the plant to get the nectar, they fall in if they walk along the rim that's slippery. Some pitchers possess viscoelastic chemical soups that resist insects that attempt to push themselves out of the liquid. Most pitcher plants have a waxy substance along the walls to ensure the prey can't climb back out, and some even have downward-facing sharp, slippery hairs that make it even more difficult for prey to escape, but easy to enter. Some modifications to the hairs also make it easier for them to capture their prey, such as different types of waxes and hair lengths. Despite how these plants can be the harbor of death for a lot of animals, there are some exceptions where these plants have developed symbiotic relationships. Some species of pitchers thrive as a makeshift toilet for other animals, such as tree shrews. Feces of these organisms are broken down and used to provide nutrients for the plants, whereas the rodents obtain nectar as a reward. Bornean pitcher plants work together with ants, where in return for shelter and nectar from the plant, the ants offer protection by hunting mosquito larvae that would otherwise inhibit the growth of the Bornean pitcher. A major question about these plants asks if they actually have some sort of simple intelligence, as in the ability to tell apart prey from objects. Some may suggest so. For example, if one places a stick on the Venus flytrap, it will reopen quickly, meaning it detects that it's not prey after all. Further research is being conducted on this field by the scientific community to determine what influences this behavior and if other carnivorous plants, such as pitcher plants, possess this ability. Plants are definitely an important and essential component of the Earth's atmosphere. The continuous selective pressures that applied to ancient plants and plants today help to develop the massive biodiversity of plant species that exist amongst us. Because of this, we should learn to not only marvel about their unique morphology, but also appreciate their importance to life on Earth and what the future may hold in plant physiology.